Imagine a situation where you were Steve Jobs and you were removed from Apple. What would you have done with the shares you already had in Apple? Yeah. Yeah. So the most successful people in business are highly unemotional. They don't let their emotions control them. Rather, they control their emotions. In some billionaires that I've worked for, not all of them, but some of them, are borderline Asperger's. They might have Asperger's syndrome. And they're very unemotional. Like when things go really well in business, like when we owned companies that got acquired and we're all high-fiving each other in the office on the trading floor, the billionaire founder usually is just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And when everyone else is freaking out, they're like, oh, no, things are fine. And they believe that things are never as good as they seem, and things are never as bad as they seem. You got to be really unemotional in business. And as Dale Carnegie said, we have to realize that in business, people are often creatures of emotion and not creatures of logic. And so I think Steve Jobs was very successful because of that as well. He knew when to turn his emotions off, and people say it was a kind of a reality distortion field that he had, kind of like the Iron Dome around Tel Aviv, to protect from rockets and stuff, which they've done a good job with. Now, when it comes to Elon Musk, he's incredibly unemotional about business, and that's one of the many reasons he's been so successful. A lot of people don't realize this, but he was the co-CEO of PayPal, along with Peter Thiel, who's probably the best venture capitalist in history. And what happened was there was a board decision to fire Elon Musk, and they decided to fire him because Peter Thiel wanted to base the technology architecture of the firm on Linux, which is open source and cheaper and much more scalable. And at the time, in the early 2000s, Elon Musk wanted to base the technology infrastructure on Microsoft's ActiveX or CaptiveX, which wasn't as cheap to use as Linux at the time. And so what happened was, again, the board let him go. And I mention this because Musk was so unemotional that after they let him go, he didn't dump all his shares. He bought a lot more of PayPal, which is a smart investment. Yeah, you got to be unemotional. And most people that invest in the stock market lose money, right? The active traders. Because, well, first of all, you can't be a trader. Otherwise, you'll never make money. Because tell me the name of one trader that's been successful longer term. They don't exist. But you got to be careful when you're investing. And you got to be, as Warren Buffett said, fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. You just got to be a contrarian in order to do well. You really do. And so that's what Steve Jobs was. And also Elon Musk is.